So what is up, you guys? It is Josh out here once again working on the KA24DE240. If you guys saw the last video, you guys saw that I have a compression problem with the first two cylinders, and in this video is going to be part one of basically changing the head gasket. So I believe that is a head gasket. Overall I feel like it's leaking between the first two cylinders, nothing more than that. So but basically the whole gist of this video is I'm taking the head off, not fixing the whole problem yet. That will be the next video most likely, but yeah, I'm gonna start digging into what all needs to happen for you guys to pull the head off your KA24DE or DET. So let's jump into this, you guys. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is probably pull the hood off so I don't have to like be all cramped up down back here and shit. So yeah. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is probably start by removing anything harness wise. So like I'm going to start where, like over here at the coil, and then it's like power steering stuff down there, distributor, like anything harness wise, mass airflow, because all this up top has to go. So that's what I'm going to be doing, just everything on harness. I'm going to like unplug everything, undo this for the valve cover. Yeah, all the harness stuff's getting unplugged right now. Alright, so I got the whole harness off, I got spark plug wires out and off, like anything electrical basically is already unplugged, so like in this vicinity. So now what I'm going to do is drain my coolant, my radiator fluid, and basically why I'm doing that is because the upper hose is connected to the manifold which goes into the head, and the head's coming off. So basically that's going to save us a lot of mess if we just drain it right now and get that out the way, so I don't have water going everywhere and getting on stuff. So that's what I'm about to do right now, just drain that, and then after we do that, then you could start on either side, the exhaust side or the intake side, because both manifolds have to come off for you to get to basically the head and pull the head off. Like, it's like the easiest way. So that's what I'm doing right now. So now that I got the coolant drained, I can start on either intake or exhaust. I'm probably just going to start with the exhaust. I don't know which one's going to be more of a challenge, so I'm just going to just jump right into it, I guess. Basically the whole gist is I'm trying to get the manifold off. So I can just get the manifold off like right now without undoing anything else. I probably would, but I'm probably going to undo my downpipe, undo these couplers right here to get the intercooler pipe off. So that's just basically the turbo, and then try and do the manifold that way so that I can just pull it off. Alright, so now that I got the coupler off and the downpipes undone, I'm going to have to like somehow maneuver my hand and get all these 8 nuts off for the manifold. I almost died, you guys. Holy shit. This coolant's slippery. Alright guys, so the exhaust manifold is off, so that's a good thing. Now I can start on the intake side. Alright you guys, so on the intake side, what I'm going to start by doing is undoing this fuel rail right here, the return line. I'm going to just unscrew that worm clamp, I'm going to undo this radiator hose right here, undo this, basically all the little hoses right here. There's 3 of them. This one goes to my turbo, this one goes to someplace I don't even know about. This one goes to the radiator, of course. Yeah, and I'm going to undo this coupler right here so I can pull my intake off, and I'm going to undo the idle air control valve hose right here before I start unbolting everything. So basically all my little worm clamp hose thingies, they're all coming off right now. And then after that, then I'm going to start by doing the fuel rail, like the actual metal fuel rail, which is just 2 12s, and then another 12 down here, which bolts to the manifold. So, and I'll pull the fuel rail off. After I do that, then I'm going to undo my intake manifold bolts, and then the intake manifold should just slide right off. And then I can start digging down into the actual engine. Alright, now that I got all my hoses done, I'm going to start going for the fuel rail, and then I'm going to be unbolting the intake manifold. Alright you guys, so now the intake manifold is off and the exhaust manifold is off. So now I can pull the valve cover off, start taking the camshafts out and the front timing cover, distributor, and then the head bolts, or in my case head studs, and then the head comes off. So that's about it. So I'm about to start digging into the valve cover now. Alright, so for the valve cover you just gotta take off the 10mm bolts that hold it down. I don't have all mine because a lot of them stripped. Next thing you're going to want to do is take out the distributor. Then what you're going to want to do is start taking off the distributor cover. So that is primarily just 12s, and then the bottom right down here are 10s, and then there's 2 back ones that you cannot forget about that connect to the head. So probably gonna need like a little wrench for that. Those 2 back here. These are 10s back here. So basically all the bottom ones are 10s and all the side ones are 12s. And then the distributor cover should pop off with a little bit of prying. So you don't need put like brute force on it. Just check, make sure I'm not missing anything. Once you get the crack off the edges a little bit, then you can take a screwdriver. You don't want to mess anything up using the screwdriver beforehand, so make sure you do. Make sure it's pried a little bit at least. Should come off just like that. Then you want to keep all your bolts together, so what I like to do is just stack them all right there. The next thing you're going to want to do is take off your tensioner, which is also a 10mm bolt. Alright guys, for this next step, you're going to want to make sure that the engine is on top dead center. It doesn't matter if it's exhaust or compression stroke.
Not really, only the smudgeness of it, the pink.
Alright, so once you get it on the top dead center, then what you're going to want to do is find an adjustable wrench for up here, and then a 24mm socket for right here. Alright, so you put the adjustable wrench up here, you take your 24mm socket, you break this right here. just like that. And then you do it on the other side also. Once you do that, both of these bolts should just pop right out, just like so. And you want to basically just give your gears a little pop. And then the gears and the chain should come off. You want to just keep these together. Next, what you're going to want to do is take the idler sprocket bolt out. That's basically just a 19. So pop it out. I forgot I had this one torqued in here super tight. But just loosen it. And before you take it out, you basically want to, for my tensioner, it's hard to explain, but you want to compress the tensioner down here for the lower timing chain, and you want to, there's like a little hole, and it depends on what tensioner you have also. But for mine, there's a little hole, and I gotta stick like a little clip inside of it so that it stays compressed whenever I take apart the engine, and it doesn't just fire the little tensioner piston out. Alright guys, so basically what I got here is like just some welding wire, and I'm going to stick this in a little tiny hole to compress the tensioner piston. And voila, I got it. So now I can take this out all the way, and you're going to want to have some zip ties ready. You're going to want to hold this chain up so it doesn't fall down there. So boom, I have the chain wrapped up right there so it can't fall down, and I can begin taking the camshafts off now. Alright, so for the camshafts, normally people do it from like anything else on the car. When you're taking something off, go from the outside and work your way in. So I'm going to be doing that also. And I'll start with the intake cam. And you don't want to just pull these bolts off, like pull one off and then pull the other one off. You want to work them both back and forth when you're doing a little section. So that's what I'm going to be doing also. So now that you have all these off, basically, well, not taken off yet, you're going to want to also put these in the same order. On the top, you'll see that they have like an I for intake on the intake side and an E for exhaust on the exhaust side. You're going to want to have it to where the arrows are pointing forward to the top, like the front of the engine, and you want to have it to where it counts to the back of the engine. So first one's going to be just an I, an I2, I3, I4, I5, I6. So it works its way back. And the same thing for the exhaust. So it'll be E, E2, E3, E4, E5, and E6. Works its way back. So that's how you want to keep these when you pull them off. You want to keep them in order.
Everyone craves human warmth and closeness, especially today when relationships seem to be more and more temporary.
And when you pull the camshafts out, you can just take a little adjustable wrench, just twist it out, and it should just pop out.
New society is being created,
just like so. And you don't want to mix these up neither, so just keep that in mind. Intake has to go back on the intake, and then exhaust has to go on the exhaust side, unless you have it modded to where you have both exhaust cams and everything like that. So, but for mine, I have intake on the intake and exhaust on the exhaust side. Alright, so now that I have everything unbolted, I could try and pull all these little nuts out. There's washers down there, so I'm just going to keep those down there until I get the head off. I might just knock some of these off. I don't got a magnet at the moment. I can probably have one. There's probably one laying in Jerry's shop somewhere. I'll just leave the rest of them down in there, but I just don't want them to fall down into the front timing cover down here. So basically, these buckets and shims right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Basically these circular looking things, if you guys can see that on the camera. These are buckets and shims, and if you flip the head over, these will come out. So when I'm pulling this head off and I set it somewhere, do not just make sure these do not come out, because they have to be in their specific little spot that they're in right now. If not, then you're gonna have like terrible valve lash, and your valve train will be like hell, and it's not gonna run really good. So when I pull this head off, I'm not just gonna like tip it over on this side or tip it upside down or some crap to where these buckets and shims are gonna fall out. I'm gonna set it somewhere where it's not gonna mess up the bottom, or just on some wood or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So looking around, I don't have any bolts fastened in it. I got my two little ones down here that a lot of people forget. So I'm able to just pull the head off now, which it should just pop right off. Like so. Alright you guys, so I got the head right here. And yeah, I'll show you guys the block, I guess. So this is the block. It's all carbony since I was like running rich. It's no bueno. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. I got the head off. I looked at the valves already. The valves aren't cracked or anything, like I got burnt one or nothing like that. So I'm guessing it was just seeping between the head gasket right here, which sort of sucks. I don't know the reason behind that. Normally stuff like that is just from bad installation, but I'm pretty sure I did it right. My next video I'll go over like what head gasket I'm going to choose and everything like that, and I'll be reinstalling it, and the car should be back on the road then. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please leave a like and subscribe. Again, the next video is probably going to be either about the head gasket I'm going with, or it's going to be me putting it all back together. So hope to see you guys then, and I guess later you guys.
¿Cómo se llama?